Commissioner, good evening.
John,
I appreciate you coming by.
I wouldn't have missed this for the world. What's it all about?
Well, I'm sorry I had to set this meeting a little late, but our guest just arrived on a plane from Washington.
Guest?
An official of the State Department is joining us. He'll be right in.
State Department? What's this got to do with the waterfront?
Everything, Robert. Suddenly, this project has gotten much bigger than we'd ever imagined. We're talking about a total rejuvenation of the waterfront, beyond our wildest dreams. You won't be able to recognize the place.
Oh, look, there she is.
Hi, how was the wedding?
It was lovely.
What's wrong? Oh, he's in a meeting. He'll be along later. Would you, excuse me, Hello, Holly. Congratulations from me and my husband. I wonder what he's doing here.
I don't know, but I do intend to find out. Excuse me.
Commissioner Scorpio, Mr. Rakos of the State Department.
Pleasure to meet you, Commissioner. I've heard some good things about you.
In Washington?
You'd be surprised how widespread your reputation is.
Now, please, gentlemen, sit down.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rakos, the floor is all yours.
Well, I'm sure you must be curious about the federal government's interest in your city's waterfront.
To put it mildly.
I won't keep you in suspense any longer. Our country is vitally interested in promoting better international understanding, especially with the third world nations.
That's what I hear, generally around election time.
It's not just a slogan, it's an ongoing commitment. One of our major concerns is aiding these underdeveloped nations to build their industry, culture, commerce, and the like.
I know it's a good way to make friends and influence enemies.
Exactly. I don't have to tell you how much goodwill is worth on the international market.
Especially these days, this is in such short supply.
Which is partly why, with the help of Senator Martin Drake, we've chosen Port Charles to house an international exposition.
Okay, now, why us?
Because the government wants to emphasize cities the size of Port Charles, along with the New Yorks and the Los Angeleses. We're expecting the exposition to bring a huge influx of foreign visitors here, and we've determined Port Charles is an attraction in itself. It's a port city on a major river. It's near Canada.
I know, and it's also rather untapped when we're talking about tourism.
Well, hopefully not for long, which means you'll have to start thinking about security.
This is all rather fascinating. And it'll certainly be quite a feather in the cap of Port Charles. But what does it have to do with the waterfront?
May I?
Be my guest.
Scott Baldwin needs $10 million to pull off his waterfront project, right?
Last I heard.
The government will provide the $10 million for the land not yet financed for development.
What if Scotty doesn't go along with this?
Uncle Sam exercises his right of eminent domain, and the land is ours.
You guys aren't going to mess around, are you?
Not when it counts. Well, as soon as we make a decision and draft an agreement, I'll be in touch with you. We'll have a lot to talk about.
Good.
All right.
Robert.
Sorry I'm late, love. I kind of got held up. Did I miss anything?
I'll stay. Dance with me and I'll tell you all about it.
It's the best offer I've had in weeks. Unbelievable.
Yeah, isn't it? How was your meeting?
Oh, equally unbelievable.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you about it later. I want to hear. They're not the only ones.
What do you mean?
Pretty soon, Baldwin's going to find out the entire federal government are going to be keeping an eye on his project. Had enough of this, then?
Yeah, I'm not in the mood for this.
You want to call it night?
Yeah, let's go home.
Why don't we do that? Well, good evening.
Having fun?
Could be worse. What you were reading.
I was.
Bad?
Depressing.
Why'd you bother with it?
The reviews said it was a brilliant novel. Ranks with the best of contemporary literature, they said.
Mm-hmm. And, you say?
Garbage. Like these commercials, may I?
Oh, please. Well, come on. Don't sugarcoat it or beat around the bush. Get to the point. Spit it out. Come on. Go.
Obscure enough to attract the critics, but still trash.
Heaven help any poor writer whose book is the subject of your literary scrutiny.
What's on?
Oh, movie.
Best kind. Anything I would know?
Rebecca.
By heart, I can quote entire passages of dialogue from that
Really?
movie.
All right, well, we'll turn off the sound and you can act out all the parts.
I think Olivier and Fontaine do it much better than I would.
You will help yourself, won't you? Huh?
Thanks.
Good. Anything else I can get you?
Yes, you could make the commercials be over, please.
I'm sorry, love. There are some things that the police commissioner cannot accomplish.
Shame,
Yeah.
shame. Good, it's back on.
Good. Turn it on. Must be a storm or something.
I love Olivier in this movie. He's
Yeah?
so dashing. I used to dream about him.
Did you?
Max de Winter. And that evil Mrs. Danvers and that fantastic old house.
Yeah. That was quite a place, wasn't it?
Robert, wouldn't it be marvelous if we could have an old house like Manderley one day?
Let me tell you, take this one. A 1960...
What a wonderful story.
Does kind of grab you, doesn't it?
It's so romantic. It's like a fairy story.
I love it when the crazy old spinster in the end loses her last cog and then burns the place down, sort of laying all the ghosts to the rest. Blah.
When did Rebecca come out?
Early 40s, I think.
I remember the first rerun I saw of it. I used to fantasize after that about being the second Mrs. De Winter. Having a marvelous wedding and being the Lady of Manderley.
Didn't sort of work out that way, did it?
Not quite.
When we were at the reception.
Yeah?
You were thinking about it then, weren't you?
What?
The wedding.
The one in the movie?
No. The one that should have been. The one that you dreamt about as being your new start in life.
No, Robert.
It kind of hasn't worked out that way, really.
Don't talk like that.
I really wish I could do something about that.
You've done too much. You saved my life. I'll never forget that. You know, I still can't get over what you told me on the way home about the federal government and the international exposition. It's going to be really good for Port Charles.
Yeah, I imagine so. Guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Holly, when we were watching that movie before, you said something. You said someday you wished we could own a home like Mandalay.
Yes?
You and I. Does that mean that you're happy being married to me?
Yes, I am. Good night.